What's going on, boys? This is gonna be part 2 to the last video. It's time to do this fuel cell. All the stuff's here. So inside this box should be everything we need. On top of that, we got the fuel cell. Let's open this stuff up. In the top of this box, this isn't necessarily for the fuel cell, but these are the rear reflectors for the back bumper. I've kind of been missing them for a while, and it looks like the rear bumper's incomplete, so gotta throw those on. This box, we got our 30 micron fuel filter, fuel pressure regulator in this box, our external fuel pump, 20 feet of 6AN fuel line, our 100 micron fuel filter, along with a ton of adapters and whatnot that we might need in the process. This video is definitely gonna be probably a bit of a longer one. We got to drop tank. We got to relocate the battery positive wires that run underneath the car, make every fuel line, install the filters, the pump, and install the cell. However, I showed in the last video, the subs are in the trunk, so we're gonna have to move those out the way. I'm not entirely sure what I'm gonna do with that. I'm unsure if I'm just gonna put the subs in the back seat of the car or if we're gonna make a new custom box and try and fit it on this side of the vehicle while having the cell on the driver's side. So stay tuned for that, because I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet. Without any further ado though, let's just hop straight into today's banger, because we got a lot of work ahead of us. This is gonna be multiple days, so let's jump in. All right, first looks at the fuel cell. I got a top mount one. Trying to go, like I said, off to the side of the to the trunk there, and maybe I'll have at least the other half of my trunk for maybe tools, maybe subs. We'll see what I do there, but got the cell off eBay. It wasn't a bad price, it was like $100. Seems to be a pretty nice piece. It's supposed to have level sensors and stuff, so I guess we'll see how that goes, but it'd be nice to not be checking the trunk or checking the cell every time I go to drive to see if I got gas. That'd get a little annoying. All right, this is gonna be one of the worst parts. We gotta disconnect the sub. These things are so heavy, man. This is gonna suck to try and yank out of here. This is gonna be the worst part. Okay, maybe I can take it and set it on the wood over here. I'll just have to lift it over this. Oh! Oh. Ah! Don't judge all the cables. I didn't feel like trimming anything down because I didn't know if I was gonna keep it like this permanently, which I'm glad I didn't. And I left everything along because I might just run the amp down here now. Definitely have to think about that. That might be the way to go. If I can put the sub over here with a different box I build, then I'll run the amp underneath the trunk here. Okay, next to do, disconnect the battery and pull the wires off. Okay, I like to wrap the ground up in a rag just to make sure it doesn't touch anything while it's back here. And this is where I connected the positive for the subs. I think it's a 13. Just so I don't forget about it, I'm gonna snug it back up. Don't worry about me. I'm just gonna take these wires off back here. All right, these wires are coming up from the amp down below. I'll leave them for now because I don't know what I'm doing. This is the old wiring I had ran for it. Later on, I switched and wired it into the factory subwoofers that are under the front seats instead of the door speakers. So that's why there's multiple. So I'll rip this out in a little bit here. Let's pull that ground out, and then the trunk is pretty much clear for now. Now I should have wiring for the heated seats in the back here. All right, this is all the old wiring I was talking about that leads back into the trunk here. And this is how I'm gonna take care of it for now. Snip. Yep, pull it through. Then we're gonna tape it up. All taped up. I can throw this bolster piece back on now, and that's this chunk of wiring eliminated. Now we gotta remove the remote wiring for the bass knob, and that runs all the way up to the front of the car. So let's get on that, and then we can finally throw the cell in. This is where I had it mounted at one point. This is how I'm laying. We got it. There. I honestly don't think this test fit could have went any better. Yeah, it's still got plenty of room, so I don't think we're gonna run into any issues, and I'm definitely gonna be able to run the subs back here as well.
Shrimp, what? Have you ever played rugby?
All right, this is gonna be a major pain to do with where the car is at right now. I gotta get the car up in the air so that we can drop the tank down. Holy, that sucked. Car's officially up in the air. I had to squeeze my way through here to get the car up in the air, but we made it happen. It's time to head underneath this thing and see if I can figure out how to drop this tank out. All right, if you're curious what it's looking like, I mean, my tank straps are scraped up. My tank's starting to get scraped. I'm running full exhaust. It's not too shabby. I mean, things are pretty beat up here and there. Not as bad as you would think. Or maybe it's worse, I don't know. It's whatever your opinion is.
Black boy, white boy, swag, I'm tatted like I'm Spanish. We go SPJ, it's a pool party, test me when you win. How about you like a fish, can play with them numbers like Lotto. See, in the Corvette, 2 rides, smiling on them.
All right, I just got the e-brake cables down. Last thing to do, I got this heat shield. And then whatever fuel lines, I don't know if I need to go from the inside of the car or not. I'll double check that, but if I don't, then I am ready to start dropping the tank straps down and get this thing out of here.
Okay, we went to Sex Street, Spencer and Rex and MIC. MG and T, let's fill with the freaks. Moxie on wavy, I'm magnificent. That's the Martin music on Rick Ross shit. Bad bitch dead out in ultimate mix. My ultimate is fuck.
There we go. Should be free. Please don't spill. All right, guys, I'm looking like a mess. That was kind of a journey to get that out. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't think it would be that difficult, but this is the F30 gas tank. Not much in there, maybe a gallon. Like I said, it was low. So now we can officially move forward with the cell. So my next step is gonna be busting out these fuel lines, getting the cell placed kind of where I want it. And then I'm gonna start making up all these lines and then we can kind of hook them up and see what happens. Let's hop into the next segment of the video.
Hi.
Okay, one of the last things we gotta remove is this battery positive wires. They run all the way from the front, underneath the car, along the rails down here, all the way up. And they run into the trunk. So I gotta remove those and reroute them inside the car down the kicker panel so we don't scrape that, and then we're good to install the cell. What the brother? Holy. Then we gotta snake this thing around the whole rear subframe. Something I forgot about is if I run my full exhaust, the muffler's gonna be sitting here. I won't have any room to put the fuel filters and fuel pump. So the new idea I'm thinking I might run them down here, and then that way everything will be in the trunk and nothing underneath. That'll get rid of the issue of the muffler right here in the way if I just put them in the car. All right, this is what I came up with so far. Basically what's gonna happen is, imagine this is a big enough hole for the fuel line, and I'll put another one next to it. Oh, my head. Imagine this hole is big enough for a fuel line, and there'll be another one next to it as well. So there'll be 2 holes here. First one will come down as kind of as the feed like comes in. We'll hit the first filter, our 100 micron. It'll pass through to our pump. It will then 180 into our 30 micron fuel filter, come out of there, and go straight back up, and then we'll send it around to our regulator. Okay, I'm gonna go over this kind of briefly because there's probably 8,000 YouTube videos on us at this point about how to make these AN lines. Okay, first things first, you're gonna tape up where you want to cut, and then you just send it. Then you're supposed to put your end in the vise here, and then jam this guy in and turn it counterclockwise until it bottoms out. There we go. Okay, so you can see it's flattened out on the inside of there. Okay, so now it says you're supposed to deliberately lube this stuff up. So there, all lubed up. Put this into the vise and then tighten it up as much as we can. Okay, that's the first one done. Super beautiful, super cool, super awesome. I'm gonna make up the other end of this and then put it in the car and show you what it looks like. Okay, so here's my line. Ideally, I want to put this end on here, and then I was gonna see where it will allow me to fit this guy, or 30 micron. I'm thinking it's either gonna be up on the wall like this, or it was going to be down here with the other filters. Now down seems like it's just fighting the line too much, so I think the best option will be to go up on the wall like this. So this is how I'll mount them. Then I'll make a line from here, poking back up, and a line from up, coming down into here. Next line going down. Okay, so that'll be like that. Yeah, so the next things to do would be tighten all these brackets down with some self-tappers, get all the lines good and tight, and then I think I'm gonna extend the factory harness for the fuel pump, slap that on, and then down here is all set. Here's everything all screwed in. Now I'm gonna test close the panel here, make sure everything's good. Beautiful. So now we got our lines, everything's tight down there so it's not gonna bounce around. I need to extend that fuel pump harness now to the fuel pump back here. All right, I gotta look up a wiring diagram. I'm not necessarily sure what wires I need to tap into. I'm sure it's the thicker ones for positive and ground. Let's look this up, make sure I don't fry anything. From what I'm seeing in the wiring diagram, it looks like orange is our negative and green's gonna be our positive for the fuel pump. So I'm gonna splice into these wires and I'll run them back through the trunk here and then tap them in. While my soldering iron heats up, I'm just gonna chuck these in real quick. Looks like one side has a little tab that's gotta slide into place. The rest just pops in like clips. There, simple as that. Let me chuck this other side in. Okay guys, so I'm gonna be using some 12 gauge stranded for this. First things first, I'm gonna twist these wires together with the factory harness. Then I'm gonna go in with the soldering iron and we're gonna finish up the job that way.
Yeah, them racks that you got ain't shit, put it up. Yeah, you lame. Yeah, they kissing that hoe, we gon' dap in and fuck. Yeah, we gang. Yeah, I ran this shit up like 2 times. Yeah, I been with finesse like 2 times. Yeah, I been hit the hole like 2 times. Yeah, I been hit the hole like. Yeah, I been getting racks, baby. Yeah.
Okay, so we got our cables coming up from the thing, up here, back. So when you put this up, our wires are running. Jesus Christ. Our wires are running straight back through here. And then I'm gonna trim them down and attach them to our fuel pump. You're probably wondering, since they're both green, which one's which. I marked the ground. All right, the ground side's already done. I'm gonna show you how to do it real quick. Take your wire, cut the excess off, strip it. Now what you do is you take your wire, put this guy in here, stab yourself really hard with the wires so you bleed. That's nice. Come on, man. You want it so it just barely sticks through the top, just like this. Then you're gonna crimp it down. Got just a little extra wire in case you need to pull back or forth, but that's all taken care of now. This whole back section is now, or underneath section is now good to be closed down. So let's move our stuff out of here. Boom. Okay. So the next thing that I'm going to do, probably the last thing I'm willing to do today, because I am turning into an icicle, is relocate all this battery positive harness inside of the car. The way I'm planning on doing it, I'm just gonna honestly run it through, like I said earlier in the video, all the kicker panels for the doors. Run it down this one, same idea. Run it down this, and then I'll just slap it up kind of with our fuel pump wires and run it down the back. So let me get on that. I'll show you that when it's done here.
Tomorrow.
It's the next day. Ignore that I'm chopped final boss right now. My hair's all crazy because I've been laying on the floor and stuff underneath this car. Let me show you why. Well, I'm looking for a grommet or something that I can pass the wires through. Up in the driver's side here, I can't find anything, so we gotta take matters into our own hands. I made a mark right here, and gonna have to drill ourselves a grommet. I don't necessarily want to do this at all, but I have no other way of passing the wires through. I don't really want to do this at all, but I have no way of passing the wires through, so yeah. Let's cut up more of this car, I guess. Not the finished product, but this is what I ended up doing. Just so we're together on this, I got the factory little grommet in there, and I zip tied them. And then this will be behind the back liner / tray there. And then they run tightly together down underneath, and they wrap around this and up into the car. I'm going to silicone up this hole and everything, so that way no water or any moisture gets up in the car. And you can see it's higher up than the frame rails. Inside the car, haven't finished yet, but it's running underneath the carpet. And then it will run down the side here like this, under all the trim and panels like I showed earlier, and pop up and go back through. All right, here's our check-in. This is where I'm at. You've seen this before, but through the interior, back in the car. So this is all good. Then the rear, all put in. I didn't put the bottom seat back in yet because we still need to run our feed line up to the front of the car. But back to what I was saying, the battery positive harness spits out right here, right where our battery sits. The next step will be getting our feed line all taken care of for the fuel cell. Well, be careful, gentlemen. I just cut a fuel line and I got gas on my face. Be careful cutting fuel lines. Okay, here's the factory fuel line that I'm getting rid of. Get the fuck out. Here's where our new fuel line's coming down from. I'm gonna run it down with the factory, or where the factory was. And it's gonna go down the trans tunnel and connect right here. Okay, since this tank didn't come with any spots to bolt it down, the way I'm gonna do it is I cut this piece of 2x4 out, and it's pretty much perfect size to fit back here. And then the way I'm going to hold the tank down, now that it can't tip, these tie down spots that BMW includes in their trunk, I'm gonna put a ratchet strap either on just one and wrap it around, or on both and hold it down. I'll see what works best. That's how I plan to do it. I'm not saying it's the right way by any means, but that's what I'm planning to do. So the more you know. Got the fuel line all tucked through the trans tunnel. It's already routed and everything like that. All the lines are tight down there. So I'm gonna quick chuck these all on and tighten those all down. And then I need to make a breather for the fuel cell. I'm gonna be running the breather vent out of the gas cap. I seen Stock Suspension do this on his video with the F30, so I think I'm gonna do that. It looked like a really good idea, honestly. I think first thing to do, I gotta rip all this liner out.
So geeked up on the plane, y'all. This whole drive me insane, y'all. My butt from hell like pain, y'all. So geeked up on the plane, y'all. This whole drive me insane, y'all. My butt from hell like pain, y'all. All she wanted is 6.
You don't even want to know the fight I had to get this filler neck out. Well, I guess my other clip recorded no audio, so I'll show you kind of what I've done so far since yesterday. Did a little bit of work here and there. Nothing crazy. I connected all the wires back up here. I put this liner back on so that everything, all those wires are tucked and protected. Back here, I'm no longer running this liner at all because there's no point. I got rid of some of the wiring up there. Ignore, this is gonna be my breather for now. I don't have the vent with me. I gotta go to the store and get it, but it's a winter storm, so I'm not driving anywhere. But I got rid of all the lines, the evap lines and the connectors for them, so no longer got to worry about those. We got one strap on the back of the tank. I'm planning on putting another one up here. I just don't know where I'm going to strap it yet. Again, this one doesn't come with feet, so I'd like to bolt it down, but can't do it, I guess. Ignore the mess and everything, but pretty much all the wires are back where they need to be. There's our positive harness there. The second one goes up here. I started rolling my speaker wire back out to figure that out when I get there. But besides that stuff, the rest of the work I got done was under the car. I got the e-brake cables stuffed back up where those gotta go. The drive shaft's back in place. and the line's all zip tied up and self-tapered where it needs to be. So I think the next step is dumping some gas in this tank and seeing if the car starts. Checking if we got any leaks. Let's try it.
And we'll do some peanut butter crackers. No roller dog? Damn it.
Definitely gotta dump the gas in first before I attach the battery, because I swear, I'm not 100% positive, but I believe the fuel pump primes when you connect the battery on these cars, so don't really want to prime everything dry. I don't know if it's really gonna matter, but you know what I'm saying. Might as well not chance it. I doubt that this has enough in it to even start the car for the cell to pick up, but we're gonna see. Oh, that's a lot of dirt though. I don't want all that dirt getting in there. Look at all this. Man, what, is this thing like empty? I feel a ton of stuff in it. We might just hit the gas station. I've returned. It's cooked out there. I don't know how much I should really put in before I'm verified everything's not leaking. We'll definitely get a little bit going. How's everyone's day going? Hope you're having a good day. Honestly, I just want to take a moment to say I appreciate y'all for tuning in. It means a lot to me. Can't wait to see how many BMW chime / check engine lights I have for all the deleted emissions stuff. That'll definitely be a treat. Let's see if that's filled up enough to the pickup tube for the feed, because I don't want to pour too much in without testing everything first. Full honesty, I just put the full 5 gallons in there because I couldn't tell. Next thing to do is hook up our battery and see if it primes. Let's see. Let's connect this battery up. Okay, I got you guys set up so you can see the gauge while I connect the negative terminal on the battery. Wish me luck going in. Okay, nothing so far. Okay, I guess now I press the start button and see if it primes. Here's the start button. You got any fuel pressure?
No.
Interesting. The car like don't want to prime, so I'm honestly just gonna start it, I think. Let's see what happens. Oh! Let's go! Definitely needed to adjust this pressure because I was only seeing like 20 or 30, but let's go! Before we can dial in the fuel pressure, I can smell some gas. If you take a look underneath, we're definitely leaking out of these back two. These are where the self-tappers poke through. So we're leaking gas underneath the cell. So here comes the fun part. I gotta pull the cell out of here so I can access the bottom and figure out what leaked. Okay, let's see what was leaking. Holy gas. Whew. I don't know where though. If you look closely, you can see that the gasket blew out of here. So we gotta fix that. Yeah, that does not look ideal. The fitting itself is still completely fine, but that O-ring is torn. Maybe I have another one of these fittings. Take a look, see what I got. I'll surf through here. If not, I might have the right size O-ring in one of these packages. Well, nothing in here nor in here had the right size O-ring, but I'm not discouraged yet. I have more 6AN stuff up here from a previous project with my Civic. I will see if that has any O-rings. There was nothing in that either. Last resort, I have a bag full of random O-rings and crap and seals. We'll see if I can make something work. If not, I might be shit out of luck today. Literally none of these look right. So I slammed one on anyway. I think it's an injector seal. I'm gonna just oil it up so it doesn't rip or tear like the last one and see what happens. I might get lucky here. Okay, we got everything hooked back up. Everything's looking good. Got the top all loose so I can set the fuel pressure here. The trunk smells like gas because I leaked gas from the lines all onto the carpet. Gotta love it. Let's start up the car and set this pressure. Just a reminder, it's gonna be loud. The exhaust isn't on it. It's just open cat right now. Before I end this one off, there's one more thing I'm gonna do before I cut the video here. I got 2 more of my stickers I'm trying to throw on here.
Oh, we'll do a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
It's truly been a fun video, and I feel like this is a good way to end off on a good note. Got just about everything I wanted to get done in the video out of the way. Hell yeah. One down, throw this one on. Oh, swag. come around to the side. Boom, swag. This is where I'm gonna end this video off, guys. There's still plenty to come with this car. Don't let this fool you. I got so much to do still. The little Bondo squeegee should be a hint. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I can't wait to get this car back on the ground and ready to mob again for this upcoming season. I think it goes without saying. I appreciate each and every one of you for watching. Peace out.
She on my body, she wanna get mixy. Like, fuck that babe, move slizzy.
And I'll put another one next to it.
Oh. Like, fuck that babe, get busy. Shawty a treat, but she really can't trick me. I'm funny like Winnie. We run the city. Got hoes out Jersey, got hoes out Philly.
Be careful cutting through the lines.